How's everyone doing? It's good to see everyone.
Hi. So good to see you. We're doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is really exciting, and I want to kind of to start, Charity. This is something that, like, when you look at it, yes, treasure hunting is the main thing you kind of think of, but a film like this has so many fun elements, so many cool elements. It's spooky. It's got the friendship component. Besides the treasure hunting, what's another element that really kind of stands out for you with this project, Charity, specifically?
Definitely the friendships that kind of all of our characters make. Um, it's definitely cool to see how, because Leah, her character, she kind of gets dropped off at her crazy aunt's house and she feels alone and like she doesn't like where she is. And it's just really cool to see how the three of them, kind of the outcasts or the misfits, they kind of band together. And it's really cool to see them working together and kind of grow in all of their friendships. And I think that's like one of my favorite parts of the movie, besides or like the big adventure and treasure hunting.
Oh, absolutely. Amelia, it's interesting, right? Because it's one thing to kind of read the script, the breakdowns and everything, and then it's another thing to actually going and filming and seeing it come to life on screen. With this project specifically, because I feel like it might change depending on the project or the role, what was that script to screen like journey for you on Treasure Trackers?
Honestly, it was really cool because when I first got the script and like especially the audition scenes that I had to do, I mean, they were really long, really hefty, had a lot of deep meaning coming, I mean, with like the witch's tale, and like putting that all together. I've never done something that long of like a monologue that I was like really like I was very scared that like I wasn't gonna get it across, and just like seeing that I was able to like get something so powerful and so like something I've never really done was really like just such a cool experience. And just seeing that, like, I mean, even with their characters, seeing all of our arcs and just seeing like the difference in just like when we first met to like all the connections we made on the screen.
Absolutely. Sean, it's interesting, right? Because so much happens before you go to camera on Treasure Trackers, right? You're figuring everything out, character breakdowns, talking to the directors, writers, meeting your fellow castmates. So in a lot of ways, from an acting storyteller perspective, you could see it as two journeys, right? Before filming Treasure Trackers and then after filming Treasure Trackers. Or do you see it for yourself as one big journey with multiple steps? I'm curious about that.
I see it as two journeys because what's on camera is very different than what's off of camera. It's been multiple times where, or even this one time where I didn't know I had these lines this one day, and then I literally had to start memorizing the lines right before we went on camera, and then we went on camera, and I was good and everything, but it's just like a whole different element, mood, like setting, everything is just totally different, and like the story is different, everything is just different.
Mm-hmm.
Charity, what can you tell me about the pace of filming Treasure Trackers? Obviously, there's going to be some days, depending on the scenes, that are a little more fast-paced than others. Was there an overall consistency? Because it's kind of very quick at certain parts, right? Where you're all kind of on this journey, and we're kind of following this journey. What was the pace like for you filming this movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. It wasn't super consistent. Everything was kind of different depending on which scene it was or where we were shooting. Some were very, slow paced and took a little longer. And yeah, it was just a little more like, I don't know, easier, I would say, like depending on where we were filming. For example, one day we were filming at a house. And so that was a lot easier than a couple, days later, a week later, we were filming in a cave, underground. So, and that was, a total just different experience and just total like different atmospheres. So that was definitely, a big part of filming was just like kind of where you were kind of depended on that. Yeah.
Is it starting to sink in for you all that people are going to finally be able to see this film? Because it's a weird feeling, right? Like you audition for it, you get it, you film it, you wait, and now we're doing a press day for it. Like it's a bit crazy, right?
It's for sure. Hasn't really fully sunk in yet, honestly.
I mean, it's just crazy because like when we shot this, like I was 14 and now I'm 17. So just like the jump and just like realizing like now it's like fine. The day has came. Like the
But
day
it's
has
funny too, because my question to Sean about the journey, it's almost like a third journey too, right, Sean? Because it's like you then go on other things and now you're back for this other journey of Treasure Trackers. I'm like talking about it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like different because you see what you've done in these past years and then what you did when we was acting and whatnot. It's just like a realization. Is like, wow, I actually did that, and like,
Right.
look at me now.
We actually filmed that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. I'm going to take a little bit of a break of being the host. I'm a little tired and everything. I'd like for either of you to ask each other a question specifically that maybe you haven't asked. So Amelia, if you have a question for Charity, or Sean, if you have a question for Amelia, anything specifically about on set or anything.
I have a question for Amelia.
Oh, I'm scared.
If you could be any character in Treasure Trackers differently than Amelia, and it can be like a guy or girl, like if you could just like play a character out of any of the characters, who would you be?
Marshy. Without a doubt, I would just want one day to just play Marshy. I mean, like you said, I mean, he's like comedic relief. I think that those are always my favorite characters, and he's always there as he's like our little sidekick. Like I would just love to just like play into like the little comedic relief, or honestly, one of the bullies.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think that could also be so much fun because they had like so much power and just like dominance that I think just playing that for a day would be super cool.
And it's kind of cool to be like mean to someone without being mean
Like
to
actually
them.
being mean.
Absolutely. That's a great question for sure. Sean, I do want to ask, I'll go around and we'll go Amelia and Charity as well. We'll start with Sean. I mentioned in the beginning of this interview that we kind of have a little bit of a two-headed monster where we have the treasure component. So there's a lot of treasure hunting, movies and TV shows that have been out. And then we also have like the spooky stuff, the Halloween stuff and everything. What would you say is like your go-to film or TV show in kind of the realm of treasure trackers? Like, is there something specifically like on top of your head that you're like, this really reminds me of one of my favorite movies or anything? Because for me, obviously, like, the Goonies and like Halloween Town High, like those are the ones that came to mind for me, Hocus Pocus. But like, I'm just wondering if there's one specifically. We'll go Sean, we'll go Charity, and then we'll go Amelia.
Yeah, I was just about to say the Goonies because it does actually reference the Goonies a lot. And then another movie, not even a movie, like a TV show, also that references it or like kind of similar is Stranger Things too.
That's a good one. Yes, absolutely. Charity, what about you?
I would say Stranger Things too. Also, yeah, obviously the Goonies, just because it's kind of Stranger Things definitely is a lot more intense, and Treasure Trackers is definitely like more family friendly and kind of a little bit more lighthearted and fun, I feel like. But it definitely ties together just with, the storyline being like surrounding a group of kids, searching for something and, kind of banding together. So yeah,
Absolutely. Amelia?
I have to agree with all of them. But for me, it's definitely the Goonies. My parents, like, I grew up watching that with them. I watched it at school, and it's just like the nostalgia and just kind of like the coming of age aspect really just like resembles with the Goonies. And even with them, they're like the outcasts, they're all different. And I feel like that really shows in ours. Like, we're all outcasts, but we all have like different characteristics, different elements. We all come from different places. So that's why the Goonies is probably the biggest one for me.
Absolutely. Those are great answers for sure. And, Treasure Trackers is going to be available to purchase on digital platforms October 1st. So going to check that out just in time for the kind of Kickstarter of spooky season. Sean, Charity, Amelia, so great chatting with you all. Congratulations and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It was so
So
good
good.
talking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.